From Fridays for Future Digital. This is the 11th episode of Climate Update. Every week, we are taking a look at the most important climate news of the week. I am Mohab. Today, we're going to talk about the Palestinian struggle and climate justice. The Israeli occupation of Palestine is a human rights crisis that all activists for any cause should care about. But it is also a climate and environmental issue. Israel imposes policies similar to environmental racism in occupied Palestine, stealing their water and land and polluting them with toxic waste. This genocide is also causing environmental damage, with Israel's bombing and herbicide sprayings polluting the soil. Yet despite all of this, and despite the fact that Israel is a major gas exporter and is funded by many of the same companies that fund fossil fuels, Israel attempts to portray itself as a green nation. I am joined by Malak, a Palestinian activist. Welcome to the podcast. So Malak, people all over the world, especially activists, are looking for ways to support the Palestinian struggle. What are your thoughts as a Palestinian activist? What will truly aid Palestinians?
I will start. Don't let the topic of the appetite and injustice of the Palestinians die down. Stay informed about what's happening in Palestine. Be educated. Educate yourself about what's happening daily, because every day we have something new, and people from all over the world don't know about. Use your strength. I believe like everyone have strength and superpowers. It can be writing, singing, drawing, or whatever. So, but use your voice and talk about Palestine in what way you want. It can be singing or writing. Um, boycott. Boycotting is a very good tool of resistance. Boycotting the Israeli products, don't buy from them. It's a really good way, and we actually Palestinians in occupied Palestine, we are doing this because we don't want to buy from them anything, because we want to rely on our products, the Palestinian products. Support Palestinian businesses, support their own Palestinian businesses, and support them, buy from them. It's very important. If you can donate, then do it, because many people here in Palestine need it.
That's really great to read that collective actions can do many great things. So, the Israeli government has a long history of environmental racism towards Palestinians. Factories that are illegal in Israel due to not meeting environmental and safety regulations are put in the occupied territories instead, so that the Palestinians have to deal with the pollution contaminating the soil, water, and air. Moreover, there are over 1.5 million Palestinian refugees, contributing to the refugee crisis, which will continue to worsen with more and more climate refugees. What are some suggestions you would like decision makers, especially world leaders, to take into consideration to pave the road for true resolutions?
As you said in the beginning, the fight for climate justice for all is directly connected to the Palestinian struggle, and Palestine is a climate justice issue. The Israeli occupation is the biggest non-environmental threat facing the Palestinians, and one that compounds the environment situation. Actually, climate change is not it's not just a natural phenomenon, but a political one. Israel's regime of occupation and apartheid denies us the right to manage our land and resources, exploitates the climate crisis Palestinians face, making us more vulnerable to climate-related events. And because of that, like we are not the one who can control our land and our water. The Israeli government, it's the responsible about our land and water, and the Palestinians, we still have to deal with the climate change. But we can't do anything, because we should change that. if you want like Palestinians to act and solve climate change, um, it's like we can, but unless the Palestinians have access to land and natural resources, we cannot adapt to climate change and remain vulnerable to food and water insecurity unless we don't control our lands and our water.
Yeah, that's true. The Israeli government is like e- like forcing evictions. So coming to the point of Israel's greenwashing, the wall dividing Israel from the occupied territories interferes with natural drainage, causing floods. It is also fragmenting habitats of native species, leading to loss of biodiversity. Israel bills itself as green on the international stage, but is actually a major producer of natural gas, attempting to become a regional gas leader and export to Europe. It also powered by 97.7% fossil fuels. Yet they claim that the environmental damage is caused by the Palestinian resistance. Activists have been challenging the HSBC Bank and AXA insurance company for their investments in fossil fuels and in arms, which led to the Israeli occupation. Which way of boycotting actions would be the most effective? How could people avoid the greenwashing of the Israeli government?
Okay, as you know, Israel cultivates an image worldwide as green, but as you know, the reality is dramatically different. Israel relies on unstable agricultural and water use practice that depend upon the exploitations of Palestinians' land and water. And if you ask me about like action that we need to do, is educate yourself about what's like the project that Israel is doing and how they are affecting the Palestinian people. As you said, like Israel's electricity production comes from fossil fuels, and Israel is seeking to export natural gas and electricity generated from fossil fuels to Europe, and that's right. And like when they show the world they green and they are friendly to the environment, but that's completely wrong. Israel greenwashed its colonial projects and human rights abuse against the Palestinian in various ways. They are claiming, like for example, that Israel made the desert bloom, but that's wrong. There are many other ways in which Israel and its province greenwash Israel impossible human rights record. So when they're acting like they are green and friendly to the environment, they are like uh, they're not giving the Palestinians their rights. And also, like another example, when they wanted to bring a lot of Jewish people to live here, so Israel needed the water. They took the water resources from the Palestinians, and in 10 years after the Nakba, the number of settlers became 2 million, and Israel didn't care about the environmental capacity, and also they don't give the Palestinians their rights. So the most important action to do is to stay educated about what's happening and what Israel is doing with the environmental project, because they make themselves like green and things like that, but they are not.
Okay, so I have final question here. What are actions being taken so far by world leaders seem to be bringing to true justice for Palestinians? Do you think the world is moving in the right direction to bring resolution to the Palestinian struggle?
Actually, no. Like in the past 2 weeks, yeah, the world started to educate themselves about the Palestinian struggle. But actually, I felt like it's just a trend. But it's like Palestine. It's not just a trend. Like we been ethnic cleansing for the past 73 years, and the world is still like they are not doing anything. Um, and many people like they don't really understand what's happening here. um yeah, like I don't see really like action from the world and to help Palestinian people.
Do you have any personal advice you want to give to our listeners or people all over the world?
as I said before, be educated about what's happening, because like the media lies a lot about you, about what's happening, and it shows you the bad side of the Palestinian, which is not real at all. Um, and like show solidarity with Palestinians and help them in many ways, and in many ways, because like Palestinians from like in the past 73 years, they don't have their basic rights, their basic human rights, and I think every human supports the human rights, but actually, if you're really supporting the human rights, you should support the Palestinian people. So speak about it. Don't be silent, because if you're silent, you're standing with ethnic cleansing and apartheid and the apartheid country. So please speak about it and educate yourself.
Thank you very much for coming here. It was truly inspiring speaking with you. Alright, that was Malak. That's all from Climate Update. I am Mohab. Thank you for listening and see you soon.